On September 3rd, on the R21 freeway in Kempton Park, the South African Police Service's anti-kidnapping task team closed in on their target, a man who had haunted the region for years, a ghost with a name that struck fear in the community's heart. Antonio Francisco Macamamo, better known as Dollarman. At 40, he was no petty thief. He was Mozambique's most wanted, a mastermind of kidnappings whose empire of crime stretched across borders. This is the story of his rise, his ruthless crimes, and the night it all came crashing down.
Police have killed Mozambique's most wanted kidnapping kingpin in a shootout last night. Now, an Indian businessman who was abducted by the kidnapper in July is still missing. Police say that the kingpin was found with South African and Mozambican identity documents. And National Police spokesperson Atlenda Mate says that police managed to trace the suspect to Kempton Park. She says that the kingpin then rammed his car into a police vehicle when he was cornered and a shootout ensued.
Police had been hunting Dollarman for years. They finally had him cornered. The team had traced ransom money from a recent kidnapping to his bank accounts, a rare slip for a man who operated with chilling precision. As their vehicles closed in, Dollarman's instincts kicked in. He was not about to go down without a fight. Slamming his vehicle into a police van in a desperate bid to escape, he then pulled a gun and opened fire, a decision which sealed the man's fate on the spot. The Voortrekker Road off-ramp turned into a war zone. The cops, battle-hardened and ready, returned fire. When the smoke finally cleared, Dollarman lay dead. His reign ended in a blaze of gunfire. But the night wasn't over. Just hours later, around midnight on September 4th, the task team stormed a shack in Alexandra, a gritty township in Johannesburg. Inside, they found Mohammed Bashir Ahmed Sidat, an Indian businessman kidnapped from his Benoni shop on July 23, 2025. His eyes were wide with fear and relief as officers led him to safety, back to his family. The police also uncovered more evidence linking Dollarman to the kidnapping. 6 million rand in cash, an unlicensed AK-47 rifle, and a VW Polo used in the crime. This wasn't just a rescue. It was a glimpse into the heart of a criminal empire. Antonio wasn't just a criminal. He was a legend in the worst way. Born in Mozambique, this 40-year-old had clawed his way to the top of the underworld, earning his nickname by demanding ransoms in US dollars. Why dollars? Because the greenback was king in places like Mozambique and Zimbabwe, letting him move money across borders with ease. It was a slick move, one that marked him as a cut above the average crook. In Mozambique, he was on the national criminals' most wanted list, a boogeyman known for snatching wealthy business people and leaving families in despair. In South Africa, he was just as notorious, linked to at least 9 criminal cases. The police had him pegged for 5 kidnapping for ransom schemes, each one a calculated strike against the wealthy. But that wasn't all. He was also tied to housebreaking, slipping into homes to steal valuables, carjacking, often with a gun to ensure compliance, and possession of unlicensed firearms like that AK-47 found in Alexandra. A source in Maputo reported that Dollar realized that kidnapping brought in a lot of money and decided to build his own network. He was ruthless and dangerous, even to journalists. This wasn't a man who played small. He was a mastermind, running a syndicate that operated like a dark corporation. Dollarman's criminal record reads like a crime novel, but the details paint a chilling picture. In South Africa, his 5 known kidnappings followed a pattern. Target wealthy businessmen, study their lives, and strike when they're vulnerable. The Benoni case was a prime example. Mohammed Sidat was snatched from his business premises in broad daylight, held for weeks while his captors demanded a ransom in dollars. The police traced the money to Dollarman's accounts, a breakthrough that led to his downfall. But this was just one of many. In Mozambique, Dollarman's name was synonymous with fear. He was linked to multiple kidnappings, targeting the elite, business people with deep pockets who could pay big. A 2015 report by the Global Initiative highlighted the kidnapping crisis in Mozambique, noting that sophisticated criminal networks like the ones Dollarman was part of targeted wealthy individuals, often of Asian descent, and operated with near impunity. While the report doesn't name Dollarman directly, It describes a syndicate led by figures like Mozambican Ayub, a kingpin whose 2013 disappearance led to a spike in copycat kidnappings. Dollarman likely rose in this vacuum, building his own network to cash in on the chaos. Imagine a typical scenario. A wealthy Mozambican businessman, maybe a shop owner in Maputo, leaves his office late at night. A car pulls up and armed men jump out, guns drawn. They drag him into the vehicle, firing shots to scare off witnesses, much like a 2024 kidnapping in Maputo where a Portuguese businessman was taken on Armando Taivain Avenue. The victim's family got a call with AC man demanding a ransom in US dollars. Dollarman's crew, with their insider knowledge and ruthless efficiency, would hold their prey in a hidden location, a shack like the one in Alexandra, until the money came through. This wasn't random crime. It was a business, and Dollarman was the CEO. Beyond kidnappings, Dollarman's syndicate dabbled in other crimes. Housebreaking meant targeting high-value homes, slipping past security to grab cash, jewelry, or electronics. Carjacking was another hustle, stealing vehicles at gunpoint, either for resale or to use in other crimes like the VW Polo in the Benoni case. And the unlicensed firearms? They were the tools of his trade, ensuring his crew could intimidate, threaten, and kill if needed. That AK-47 wasn't just a weapon. It was a symbol of the power he wielded. Dollarman wasn't a lone wolf. He was part of a bigger beast. His syndicate operated across the South Africa and Mozambique border, a region where porous borders and economic disparities create a playground for crime. The Global Initiative's 2015 report described Mozambique as a budding narco-state, with organized crime networks deeply embedded in society, some even infiltrating the police and judicial systems. These groups didn't just kidnap. They trafficked drugs, ivory and rhino horn, and laundered money through customs fraud. Dollarman's network likely included spotters who scouted targets, enforcers who carried out the abductions, and insiders who provided intel, including corrupt officials, given the reports of police complicity in Mozambique's kidnapping crisis. A 2013 risk analysis cited in the Global Initiative report noted that criminal gangs were accessing bank statements and tapping phones to pick their victims, a tactic Dollarman's crew probably used to target men like Mohammed Sidat. The syndicate's reach across borders made it hard to track, with US dollars flowing through Zimbabwe and Mozambique to launder the profits. In the end, the once feared Dollarman could not handle the heat faced by one of the most elite task force in South Africa. That night on the R21 was a turning point. The SAPS anti-kidnapping task team had been relentless. The week of Dollarman's death, Operation Shanila netted 14,773 arrests across South Africa for crimes from murder to assault. This wasn't just a lucky shot. It was the result of years of work, with police finally catching a break when they linked the Benoni ransom to Dollarman's accounts. But Dollarman's death left questions. His syndicate wasn't a one-man show. Who else was involved? Were there lieutenants ready to take his place?
Start with the breaking news this hour. A kidnapped businessman has been rescued in Alexandra. He was found just after midnight after an alleged kidnapping kingpin was killed in a police shootout. The kingpin, known as Dollarman, was killed in a gun battle with police and private security in Kempton Park. The Mozambican national was wanted for several cases, including hijackings and housebreakings. Police say investigations are continuing.
The police are digging, combing through the cash and the car to trace other crimes. The 6 million could point to more kidnappings, maybe even unsolved cases from years past.